Celtic manager Tommy Burns has shuffled his midfield in the last few weeks, searching for a better blend. Paul McStay and John Collins were both dropped. Tonight it's the turn of Peter Grant. He makes way for the return of Collins, whose passing ability gives him the edge. Ryan O'Neill's suspension doesn't begin till tomorrow. But Kilmarnock's Tom Brown is currently banned, and Alec Totten must again do without him. That means same again to the team which beat Dundee United last weekend. Goal-scoring fullback Tom Black passed a fitness test on a hamstring problem. Veteran striker Steve Mascree looks to add to his 4 cup goals. And Friday night is big match night for referee Kenny Clark from Paisley, who gets this cup quarter-final underway. Celtic need no reminding, it's been 6 long years since they put some silverware in the Parkhead's trophy room, and they feel that this season, with Rangers already out of the competition, they'll never have a better chance. Brian McLaughlin, who's held his place in the Celtic side while those around him have been losing theirs. Tony Mowbray looking to pick out Faulkner. Mark Riley was in the way. Steve Mascree's in pursuit. Composure from Mowbray, and then firmness in the tackle too. McStay. Touch from Van Hooijdonk, and again from Paul McStay. That's asking a lot of McLaughlin against Gus McPherson, who takes no chances. McPherson, who's missed hardly a game for Kilmarnock since signing from Rangers. Forward from Derek Anderson, it's a loose one though. Brian O'Neill has it. And John Collins. McLaughlin, he's so elusive, causing problems wherever he goes. And Gus McPherson was lured into the foul challenge. The youngster wins the free kick. Up into the area goes Tony Mowbray. Anderson gets it away. Here's O'Neill. Van Hooijdonk at the far post, Faulkner! And Van Hooijdonk. Well, he's been criticised in some quarters for his aerial power at 6'5", but that knockdown did pose the Kilmarnock defence problems. Here's the corner kick. Back in from McKinley. Here's Ali Mitchell to Riley. And Robert Connor given some room to pick out McKee. He can shoot from long distance, can McKee? Here's Connor though. Kilmarnock's attack breaks down. Paul McStay to John Collins. Fired forward from Tosh McKinley. It breaks kindly for Celtic. Van Hooijdonk has it. Now McLaughlin taking it for a run. This looks useful. Van Hooijdonk at the far post. Kilmarnock happy just to hack it clear. And a free kick given against Tosh McKinley for the foul on Mascree. Steve Mascree a willing runner after that, but Brian O'Neill just ushered it behind. There's a useful head flick from Faulkner. And that looked like a push from Derek Anderson, but Kenny Clark says no and Celtic play on. McKinlay looking for Faulkner. He's onside, but he'll struggle to keep that in. Well-timed run that from Faulkner, because he managed to evade the offside trap. So it's Steve Maskery through the middle for Kilmarnock, with Colin McKee very much tied to the left touchline at the moment. O'Neill looking for some options up ahead of him. Here's McStay. Only Faulkner in the middle. Van Hooijdonk tries to find him. Again, Faulkner crashing to the ground, appealing for a free kick, which would have been just a yard outside the area. It's not given. McKee can't get there, but Steve Maskery can. Riley's making progress in the middle. Ali Mitchell's there too. And was that handball by Tosh McKinlay? That is the claim from the Kilmarnock players. Well, here comes the Steve Maskery cross. There's a furious appeal. And a close thing, but that looked like the right decision from Kenny Clark. McKinlay has McLaughlin down the touchline as the floodlights fail. It's silhouette time, and that's a problem. So referee Kenny Clark in the dark, and over he comes to try and find out what has happened. Well, Scottish football has been dogged by floodlight failure this season, and not for the first time it's lights out on the big match. And the team's being taken off by Kenny Clark. Everyone here, of course, hopes it's not too long before they return. George Fulston had his toolbox out at Falkirk earlier in the season. Maybe it's a bit of that that's required here at Hampden tonight. Well, it's been an unscheduled break of around 20 minutes, and everyone happy to see the players now coming back onto the field to complete the first half. And of course the great debate at this point is, where should the game restart? Gus McPherson and Pierre Van Hooijdonk with differing views on it. Kenny Clark intervenes, and Celtic have a free kick there. Pierre Van Hooijdonk is master of ceremonies. He's certainly got a powerful shot, we know that from the cup already. It's a fair old effort too, although Lukovic was happy at the post to just usher it behind. Colin McKee looking to see what's happening up ahead, flicked on by Maskery. And the foul by Brian O'Neill on John Henry, and it's a yellow card. Well, he's a suspension beginning tomorrow, and that's another yellow to add to the tally. A head flick from Maskery, and it was a useful turn there by John Henry, caught by the tackle. So Whitworth's up, but it's not the best of free kicks, although it still might be. In from Anderson, well saved by Pat Bonner. There was John Henry with the volley, and it was certainly powerfully hit. Pat Bonner confidently behind it. The free kick cleared by Celtic, back in from Anderson, and it fell for John Henry. But Maskery is an isolated figure up front for Kilmarnock, and he's really got no change whatsoever out of Tony Mowbray. So many balls have been played to him in the air. Bonner, none too convincing with that clearance. And it was John Henry almost in on the Celtic goalkeeper again. He'd plenty of time to make the clearance. Whitworth's head. Mitchell back. Out comes Pat Bonner. This time he can let it run and use his hands. One bounce and on to McLaughlin, beaten by McPherson though. Collins. A neat change of direction which found him some room, although eventually loses his footing. Kilmarnock on the counter, play a lot of their game on the break. Tom Boyd cut out the threat there. Neat flick from Phil O'Donnell which finds McStay. Lovely ball through the middle. Brian McLaughlin is in behind Tom Black. He's tripped and that's a penalty. Tom Black can have few complaints about that. The timing of the run from McLaughlin was perfection, as was this ball played through with the outside of his right foot from Paul McStay. And it was a clear goal-scoring chance had McLaughlin not hit the deck there. So Tom Black, who's scored a few penalties this season, concedes one. And John Collins now has the chance to break the deadlock. And he does! John Collins' 11th goal of the season. Back in the side after being left out against Aberdeen on Sunday. And Tommy Byrne's recall works wonders. Inside of the left foot. And almost clipping the inside of Lakovic's right-hand post. Celtic in front. But Killy certainly can't complain about the decision, a clear-cut penalty kick. Here's another chance to see the moment when Tom Black just clipped the heels of McLaughlin to concede that penalty. Well, Alec Totten will be disappointed. He'd have hoped to at least held out to half-time. Goalless, shake of the head. Derek Anderson wins it. Anthony Mowbray. It's head tennis time again. Forward from Paul McStay, trying to switch it left. Brian McLaughlin giving it every opportunity and beats Gus McPherson. Useful position. Pulls it back, nobody there. Well, that was tenacious play again from McLaughlin. He's been the important player yet again for Celtic tonight. As is this man, John Collins, the scorer. Players getting into the middle. Phil O'Donnell was there. McLaughlin. Van Hooijdonk. Out came Lakovic and saved it. Well, very nearly number 2, but the flag in fact had gone up for an infringement in the area, so if it had gone in it wouldn't have counted. Presumably the push there was the reason for the free kick. What can Kilmarnock do in these final minutes? Not a lot. That's half-time. A break of 20 minutes or so for bad lights, but John Collins' penalty goal after Tom Black was alleged to have tripped Brian McLaughlin is the only goal, and Celtic have a 1-0 lead. Kilmarnock restarts, and they'll have to find a way of getting some more support up for Steve Maskery, who's been a lonely figure in attack for them, and really all the high balls have been snapped up by Tony Mowbray. Back comes Steve Maskery to help out, seemed to be caught by the McStay boot. Still down as Tom Boyd tucks that back to Bonner. Well, Steve Maskery will need some attention when the ball is out of play. Celtic not keen to help at this stage, and McLaughlin is down under a challenge from Connor. Well, dive is the allegation there, and Gus McPherson wasn't too pleased with that either. But here was the incident where Steve Maskery was caught. It seemed a fair enough challenge for the ball from Paul McStay, but Maskery was caught. And then when Celtic press forward. The push from Connor. Connor reckons that McLaughlin made the most of that, and McPherson possibly lucky to escape too. McKinley's free kick, Van Hooydonk's header! Not too far away. He's a dangerous man in the area, on the ground or in the air. And Lukovic was certainly happy to see that one go behind. But judging by the reaction from the Dutchman, this was not too far off target. Almost scraping the outside of the post. Now Boyd looking for a way in behind. Colin McKee was policing him on the way back. It's given away. Van Hooijdonk, he drifts out to wide positions, sometimes frustrating the Celtic fans who prefer to see him in the middle, scoring goals. Now Killie on the counter. Good tackle, important tackle too by Tony Mowbray. It's quickly moved forward from Paul McStay. Van Hooijdonk, Phil O'Donnell's in the middle, and Faulkner there too. Whitworth managed to hack it clear. Still with Pierre Van Hooijdonk. He's a difficult man to cope with from a physical point of view. It was a promising position when he found some room on the right. O'Donnell was there, so was Faulkner. Whitworth got it clear. Black's free kick. Not proving too effective, but that might. Good ball forward from Connor. Nice touch from Steve Maskery, and he drew the corner off Tony Mowbray. That's Kilmarnock's first corner of the match. Mark Riley will take the kick. Nodded away by Faulkner. Tom Black can strike them, and that wasn't too far away. That may well give a boost to Killie, who haven't really seen Pat Bonner at close quarters too often in this match. That was outside the box, but Black just found himself some room for the shooting chance, and he's put them in from there before. Alec Totten remonstrating with his side to push up, to play the match more towards the Celtic area. Person's throw in. Here's Maskery, well tackled by McLaughlin. Robert Connor comes to collect, back from McKee. Here's an opportunity, and they haven't had too many chances, and that was certainly one. Well, here was that moment of danger as McKee got himself into a good crossing position, and it was McKinley with the important header. Josh McKinley doing good defensive work. Now Kilmarnock in a good position again. And again the chance goes begging. They'll feel they have to stick one of these away. Ali Mitchell was the man in the 6-yard area there, who, if he'd got a touch, that would have been in. That was again well policed by McKinley. He was in between Mitchell and the ball. Faulkner's head flick, and Tom Black couldn't control it, so it's the Celtic throw. Van Hooijdonk to McLaughlin. Lovely first time ball, Paul McStay. Faulkner's in the middle, headed clear by Whitworth. Collins to McKinley, heading for the byline. Overruns it, but it was a useful attacking move from Celtic. First time pass from McLaughlin, which freed Paul McStay on the right hand side, and he certainly had time to measure that ball in, away from Whitworth. Knocked down by O'Donnell from McStay. The left foot cross which picks out Brian McLaughlin. Willie Faulkner, a lone figure in the box at the moment. He'll wait for reinforcements. And Tom Black charged down the attempted cross ball. Neat touch from Van Hooijdonk. Van Hooijdonk is onside. Faulkner and Collins in the middle. There's Willie Faulkner. What a chance that was. He really should have stuck that one away, and he knows it. From Van Hooijdonk's cross ball, that should have been Faulkner's 6th goal of the season. Onside was the ruling. The cross was teasing. It looked to be perfection for Willie Faulkner. Off the back of his head, really, and over the top. And a double substitution for Kilmarnock. Off come the captain Robert Connor and Colin McKee. And on come the two outfield substitutes, Mark Skilling and Dougal McAddison. That's Skilling, who's had injury problems which have disrupted his season. And Dougal McAddison, of course, the former Celtic player, who's had major injury trouble as well. This has to be an attacking move from Kilmarnock at this stage of the game. They really need to get players forward and ask questions of O'Neill and Mowbray. Well, immediately Brian O'Neill is under a bit of pressure. Pat Bonner clears it. Flicked on by Van Hooijdonk. He hung in the air for that one. Fierce competition from the ball. There's McStay for Boyd. Brian McLaughlin's there if he wants him, and he finds him. Willie Faulkner! Good goalkeeping by Lakovic, and it had to be. Willie Faulkner looking to atone from his earlier miss. But that time it was the goalkeeper who got there first, although Faulkner still not happy with his own performance in that. So much room there for McLaughlin to measure the cross. It was hanging for Faulkner, and that was an important hand from Lakovic. Just a couple of minutes left. Mowbray beaten in the air, but the foul was against him, says Kenny Clark. Free kick taken quickly by Brian O'Neill for McLaughlin. He's such a good man to have on these sorts of occasions, McLaughlin. He can waste some time. In from Boyd. Faulkner off the uprights. Well, it didn't seem like much of an opportunity, but the turn and shot was superb from Willie Faulkner there. Lakovic was beaten, and it rattled back off the post. Tom Boyd manages to get the ball before the byline. It was well controlled there by Faulkner, and that was close to Celtic's second. Already 90 seconds of injury time have gone as Ali Mitchell goes crashing to the ground, and Alec Totten almost on the pitch himself trying to get this game restarted. He knows there can't be too much left. Just put it in the area is the message, which I think Gus McPherson has received. Tony Mowbray's underneath it, and his challenge is important. Neil Whitworth couldn't really direct that header. The final whistle has gone. Whitworth and Faulkner embrace. Tommy Burns goes across to shake Kilmarnock hands, and it's Celtic who are through to the semi-finals of the Tennant Scottish Cup. Tom Black there, who conceded the first half penalty 3 minutes from half-time it was. John Collins put away the kick. It's been far from a classic, but the Celtic fans won't mind that too much, because they're still on target to bring home their first trophy in 6 years. Final score, Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Tommy, pre-match you had a go at the supporters for what they'd been doing to the team. Were you happy with their performance tonight? I think you're totally wrong there, Rob. I never had a go to supporters. I'll never in my life have a go to Celtic supporters. What I said to them was that, you know, if I feel that when they turn up here, the atmosphere hasn't been the way it should be, and I feel obviously because of the fact that we're not at Celtic Park, so every game is an away game. But I never had a go at them. I think some people in the press tried to make that out, and I feel that was trying to be divisive and trying to alienate myself from the support. This support, no, I would never criticise them, because they're beyond reproach. And they come tonight. If they took it that way, then they came tonight and gave me my answer. But it was never meant that way. It was just meant purely the fact that the players we've got are Celtic players, and we should support them as such until such times as we can get in, you know, the best quality players that we're looking for. And that was all asked. That was all asked. But unfortunately, some people in the press choose to portray it differently.
You've left out Paul McStay and John Collins in recent weeks. Do you think that's had the desired effect on them?
I don't want to get this any harm. We get a wee kick up the backside, to be honest with you. I think, you know, the both of them for a long time here, if they carry the can and try to make things happen week in, week out, with people sitting on top of them, marking them out the game and everything like that. And it makes it difficult for them. And I think over the few years that their standards have dropped, and we spoke to them about it at great length. There wasn't any big debate. I was just telling them that I felt, you know, that they can do better, more consistently, and that's what I was asking of them. Because they're very, very important to us. And when they play, then we're not a bad side when they're on for them. But if they don't play, then we're a very ordinary one. And that was what I wanted to do, to get across to them, to let them know that, you know, they've got to be in there. They're so important to us. And like every other club, your important players have got to play well for you more often than not.
You're through to the last four. That was obviously the main thing. How happy are you with the performance?
Well, I was well pleased. I think, to be honest, the first half they played very, very well. The lights came out a wee bit, we had to go back in again and then restart again for 9 minutes, and the attitude was great again, and the support were quite remarkable. McLaughlin goes and shows a wee bit of cheek, a wee bit of arrogance, which is something that's been missing, and we need that in our team, guys to go and put their foot on the ball and know who they're playing for. That they're playing for Celtic, not playing for any other ordinary team. They're playing for a very, very special team, and take a